So about a week ago, we spoke about the sneaker market crash, basically just touching on how sneakers aren't reselling for what they used to. And now that pretty much everyone is talking about it, it seems like a pretty dark and gloomy place. But honestly, this is a good thing, and there's plenty of pros to be taken away from the current situation, including some insanely hyped sneakers that you can get for a lower price. So I decided to compile a list of sneakers I think are a steal right now, and probably won't be for much longer. Pretty much all of the sneakers on this list are at a price tag which I never would have guessed they would have been at, something you would definitely not find a year ago, so here's the list. First up, and I think a no-brainer right now, is the Yeezy 350 Bone. Right now, they are selling for pretty much retail price, and in fact, if you look at some of the past sales on StockX, you can see that some of them even sold under retail. This is pretty rare for a pair of Yeezy 350s, especially considering that this is a triple white colorway. I mean, even the originals, the Yeezy 350 Creams, those things dropped with like 1 million pairs and were like the highest stocked Yeezys ever, and they are still reselling. I think you're getting a steal with the price that they're at right now, considering that these things are selling like hotcakes. I imagine they go up in the future, especially because it's an all-white pair of shoes and people tend to wear them and get them dirty, and people are gonna want a crispy, clean pair of triple whites. I freaking love my pair. I wear them around all the time to the gym. I'm probably even gonna take them on vacation with me. So if you wanted a new pair of 350s, I think it's a great option. Right, guys, so next up, we've got the Jordan 4 Military Black. The hype on this sneaker is incredibly high, so I wouldn't let the price tag make you think otherwise. This is a sneaker that's not only incredibly versatile and clean, but it's also a flip on an original colorway. Right now, it's reselling anywhere between $280 to about $350 out in the US. Here in the UK, you're looking anywhere between $250 and $300, which, considering these things retailed at $210, I think is pretty crazy for a Jordan 4 silhouette like this colorway. I mean, for comparison, let's take a look at the white Oreos. It's not even an original colorway, and it's still reselling for a ridiculous amount. But yeah, I think Military 4s, for the price they are right now, if it's a sneaker that you really wanted, I think it's a pretty good time. And I think they have a very high likelihood of going up in the future. Right, let's talk about collaborations, because there's a couple pairs that I've seen and I'm like, damn, they're only going for that much, considering their collaborations with the biggest collaborators in sneakers. Let's start with the man himself, Travis Scott. Even though I think the recent trainers that released are pretty clean, I kind of like those, and yes, they are pretty low. I'm talking about his Air Maxes, because those things are really low. Even before they dropped, I was thinking to myself like, damn, I'm probably not going to be able to get a pair for under 500 pounds, considering the hype and the fact that it's on an Air Max 1 silhouette. And to my surprise, they're currently reselling for anywhere between 300 to 350 pounds. Or out in the US, I think it's about $380 to about $420. And the Saturn Gold colorway is even better. Those things are only going for about $250 to $300, or in the UK, about 200 pounds to 250, which I think for what it is shocking. I personally like the Baroque Brown colorway, but the Saturn Gold colorway is super wearable and clean, and too good of a deal to ignore. Historically, even the Air Max 270s were reselling for more money, so it's just crazy to me to see a Travis collaboration go down like this, considering the sneaker model it's on. So yeah, I'd be super surprised if they end up going for lower than they are right now, but it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. If it's not something that you're in a huge rush for, maybe just see how it goes, because who knows? In this market, who knows? Now, the next collaboration sneaker that we're going to be talking about is yes, a little bit more polarizing, but it's still an iconic pair of shoes, and that is the Off-White Air Force 1 Mid. I completely get that the spikes are not for everyone, probably most people, and even I have a bit of a hard time with those spikes. Underneath those spikes, there's still a really solid sneaker, and the thing is, these sneakers had a huge amount of hype when they released. This could also unfortunately be one of the last Virgil Abloh collaborations that we see. Both colorways are currently at pretty much the same price, just a touch over retail, which is pretty crazy. I reckon if they dropped a couple years ago, they'd still be, you know, a couple hundred over the retail price. That's just a guess. I don't know. I mean, if you really hated the spikes, you could always cut them off, which I have seen a couple videos on. Someone did it with a knife and someone did it with a Dremel. thought it was pretty cool. Right, let's quickly head back over to Yeezy because I think there's a couple sneakers that are great and pretty much at their bottom. Starting with the Yeezy Foam Runner in the Stone Sage colorway. This is an easy recommendation for me. It's something that I have had so many questions on. People hit me up in the DMs asking me about the Stone Sage colorway of the Foam Runner. And I think it's almost a no-brainer recommendation. If you're looking at the Yeezy Foam Runner model and you're trying to decide what colorway to get, this is one of the cheapest ones. Not to mention that I think it's one of the best colorways. I think the most popular foam runners are going to be the Ararat and the Sand colorway, but I don't recommend buying those. Not only do they have a super high likelihood of restocking pretty soon, maybe on Yeezy Day, but they are just ridiculously expensive. You should be able to grab a pair of the Stone Sage foam runners for about 130 to 140 pounds in the UK, and if you're out in the US, you're looking at about 160 to 180 dollars. Great option for the summertime and definitely one to consider. But I've also got another one perfect for the summer, and that is the Yeezy Slide Green Glow. Another summer banger, and yes, I'm fully aware that this green glow colorway is not everyone's favorite. I guess that's probably just because they're glow green, super bright and vibrant colorway, and I think that affects the wearability to some extent, especially when we have so many different colorways to choose from. But this is as cheap as it gets when it comes to the Yeezy Slide. These things are currently reselling for just a touch over the retail price, which I think for Yeezy Slides, considering the hype universally, is pretty good. It's definitely worth mentioning that some colorways of the Yeezy Slide restock every couple months, so if you can be patient, if you've got the time, definitely try and hit for retail. But if you're heading out on vacation, you got some summer plans that include comfortable Yeezy slides, then I think this is your best option. I'm gonna be taking mine on vacation. They go hard. Let's get into the last one. Let's leave it at the holy number 7, because if we carried on, this video would be 10 years long. I did have a bunch of other sneakers that I wanted to mention, but hey, I don't know. If you like this video, maybe we'll do a part 2. Dunks, guys. Freaking Dunks. Now, there's a whole lot of options when it comes to choosing a pair of Dunks, but I think I have the very best option to go for, and that is the Nike Dunk Low Valerian Blue. This is a colorway of the Nike Dunk Low that I just know would be popping off a year ago. I mean, it's still a super popular colorway, but at the moment, you can't really look at the price to reflect the popularity. It's a simple color blocking, easy to rock, and I think looks great on foot. It's currently at about 130 to 140 pounds, which is a slight trend upwards considering I paid less before they even released. US, you guys are looking at about 160 to 170 dollars on the aftermarket. Disclaimer for the UK and the EU, I still recommend doing the Nike Dunk by use. Those things restock, I think, almost every day between like 1 and 2 a.m. in the morning, bizarrely enough, but you can create a bunch of really solid colorways. The materials are better, but again, disclaimer for the EU and UK, I don't think they're actually doing that in the US as well. Sorry about that. I made the Panda colorway, and as you can see, like, the materials are just leagues above any GR Dunk. But yeah, guys, those are my top picks. Hope this helps, and let me know if you'd like to see a part 2, but thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you for liking, commenting, and of course subscribing. I'll catch you guys in the next one, but until then.